Joining me today is Melanie Koerner, Senior Engineer at Arup, who'll be speaking at IIR's Carbon Price Forum 2011, which takes place on the 19th to 20th of July in Sydney. Hello Melanie, thanks for joining me today.
Hi James, thanks.
First of all, what impact will a carbon price have on your industry?
Okay, well, my industry, I'm a consultant working with city governments and local councils to establish how they are going to achieve the carbon reduction targets that they've set. So the majority of my work is in encouraging our clients to achieve carbon reduction. So for me, a carbon price will only add to their the incentives for them to be implementing measures across their city. So I think in terms of Arup's business and my business, it will mean more work for us and the type of work that we like to do in terms of energy efficient and renewable energy in buildings and city planning.
Melanie, what are your thoughts on proposed transitional compensation of high emission power generation?
I think that providing compensation to high emission power generation is one way that we can reduce the cost burden on energy consumers to ensure that there's a smooth transition to a low carbon economy. However, I think there may be other more effective measures for this to occur. What I'd like to see is perhaps improved way that we look at network charges and investment in the types of generation that might improve the performance of networks. I'm thinking of such things as distributed generation and building integrated renewable technologies. These sorts of things will mean that we can perhaps reduce the investment required in transmission and distribution infrastructure so that network charges don't increase at the escalating rates that we're seeing at the moment. That way any increases in wholesale electricity costs that come as a result of a shift away from high emission power generation will be less of an impact where we have lower network charges.
How do you think the Australian industry can plan the move away from high emission fuels?
I think there's a big opportunity for Australia to reform the way it undertakes land use planning. Some of the land use planning decisions that are made lock in energy intensity and carbon intensity into the future. And I think if there's a more focus placed on energy efficiency and carbon emissions during planning decisions, then we can ensure that some of these decisions don't lock into high energy, high carbon and a high cost way of living for industry as well as residents.
What do you believe to be the key to succeeding in a carbon-constrained society?
I think there's a really strong business case for carbon reduction initiatives and in particular energy efficiency, and as the cost of renewable energy comes down, there's a really strong business case for carbon reduction. And I think that this message hasn't really got through to decision makers, that there is a net benefit to the economy in achieving some of the ambitious carbon targets that are out there at the moment. I think in order for this to happen, though, that we need to secure capital, and it's going to be government encouraging industry to invest in these sorts of things that need to occur. So I think it's financial markets and coming up with innovative financial mechanisms to encourage industry investment in energy efficiency and renewable energy.
And how's Arup dealing with industry and assisting them in meeting the potential issues of a carbon price on their industry?
Yeah, I mean, Arup is probably most famous for our work in buildings and innovative work in green buildings such as the Water Cube in Beijing. So trying to present to our clients that there is a straight economic business case for carbon reduction initiatives is important to us, but also helping our clients realising the marketing value and the wider value of low carbon buildings and low carbon infrastructure.
Melanie, you're on a panel at IIR's Carbon Price Forum, which takes place on the 19th to 20th of July 2011 in Sydney. What would you like delegates to gain from attending the event?
I think that the biggest thing that people could gain is understanding the business case for carbon emission reduction. So that's bottom line business case, as well as some of the wider benefits that can be achieved by moving to a low-carbon future in terms of health benefits, environmental benefits, and for carbon reduction not being seen as a sacrifice or a trade-off, and that it can be framed in a win-win context.
Melanie Koerner, many thanks for your time today.
Okay, thank you, James.